Why men are not committing in modern dating from FBE Capital.
That I could have a conversation with him, that he could be here with me, that he could have chosen me.
Trying to get a guy to commit or trying to see where things go, I indulged in hookup culture.
Why am I not good enough to date? If you want to hook up with me, why do you not want to date me? And then it's like, is it my personality? Am I that unsufferable?
When I tell people that I've never officially been on a date with someone, they don't believe me. But to me, a date is like actually going to a nice restaurant that someone's planned, and I've never had that.
Clearly, I'm not doing something right.
If you do not want to be with her, just tell me.
When I was little, I really didn't think it was going to be this hard to find someone.
It's literally just so confusing and so stressful, and no one seems to really know what they actually want.
When, I don't know how to fix this.
I just want a family.
I had to come to terms with knowing that I'm not a woman that men commit to or love. They want, but I've never had any big romantic gestures.
So it happened again. I had a date cancel on me, and I got stood up.
And I have been stood up.
I know I deserve better. But he was that person for me.
So obviously, these women that you just saw can easily get 100 plus dates in a single week.
Yeah.
Either through dating apps or in real life.
Yep.
However, what they can't seem to get is for any of these guys to stick around or to show some genuine interest for more than 45 minutes, and that is what's driving them crazy.
Stop fucking ghosting.
You never hear, oh, I want you in my future. Instead, you hear, oh, I want you on top of me in bed. It is so fucked up.
And I'm tired of being single.
And I'm not capable to find someone who is able to get interested in me, in myself, for a long time. I don't know. It's only about superficiality, relationships.
Things have gotten so bad in modern dating
honestly, if he just eats the butt,
that some of these women are now trying to come up with ways to force men into committing to them.
Like a month after we first met, our first date was October 18th, we drafted up relationship terms and conditions. Now, I will admit this is absolutely psychotic to write up 2 weeks after meeting somebody on Tinder, but
if we required commitment before sex, we would have more relationships.
We must have plans on 2 weekend nights per month and 1 weekend day. If we go out together, we go home together.
Well, here's the thing, what she just said. If they required commitment, they would get more relationships. I think it's like we underestimate what a man is willing to do to get sex. So the whole thing with like the first date, like you don't sleep with a guy on the first date. They think that's some sort of buffer to kind of weed out the guys who aren't going to take them seriously, because if they prolong the sexual access, then that must mean if a guy is willing to wait, he isn't just there to sleep with her. And that's not true, because this is us underestimating what a man is willing to do to get access to that. So in my opinion, the whole if she sleeps with you on the first date, women shouldn't do it simply because it's a stigma. That's the reason why they shouldn't do it, is because it's a stigma alone, and that is enough to make a guy think, okay, maybe I shouldn't take this girl seriously for anything more because she gave it up on the first date. And that's not necessarily true, but I really think women shouldn't do it simply because the stigma is there. But the thing is like making a guy wait 3 dates, 4 dates, 5 dates isn't necessarily weeding him out to be relationship quality. Like he's gonna all of us now, because you made him wait 3 to 5 dates, now he will commit to you. Like that's not how it works, because that's underestimating what a guy is willing to do and how long he's willing to hold out to get access. And so it's so simple, isn't it? It really comes down to, I would imagine most of these women are meeting these men off of dating apps. And of course, they're going to be swiping right on the men who are just the complete outliers. And of course, like all these women want these men. It's so simple. And in order for these women to get what they want, which is probably the commitment, they need to stop swiping right on men who look like fuckboys. It really is that simple. But they're not willing to do that. They don't want to lower their standards. I've heard it firsthand how women deal with men on dating apps, the type of men they stray from. And they don't like men who don't look like fuckboys ultimately. I mean, when it comes to dating apps, all these women swipe right on these dudes who absolutely look like fuckboys, and then they are confused why these men don't commit. If a guy is able to get a match with one woman, it's very likely there are plenty of other women who also are willing to match with him. And so, I mean, these are good-looking women, a lot of them, and they aren't able to get commitment. What's going on here? Well, it must be that they are probably matching with men who are just out of their league, or they're just swimming in abundance of matches. Why would they commit to you? And honestly, you probably, as a woman, don't match up with the other women he's seeing. That's a harsh truth for these women to face too. Men are dating multiple women as well, and they're choosing which ones they want to commit to. And so you women, these women on dating apps, these modern women, are giving these small percentage of men all these dating candidates and options to choose from. And then just statistically speaking, you're not likely to be the one he chooses. And only the pick-me type of girls will probably actually get picked. And we know how these modern women are constantly saying, I am the table. My femininity, the fact that my sex is female, should be enough for you to want to commit to me. And that's just, okay, you can try that. How's that working out for you? It doesn't look like it's working well.
Every 4 months, you must send me flowers.
The irony here is that these are all old school ways of dating. It was called courting and marriage that were deemed to be too restrictive and too sexist for modern women. And don't even get me started on this new bull called dating deposit.
She agreed to reschedule on one caveat. He would Venmo her a $50 deposit.
Now, in all honesty, I don't know exactly how prevalent this is, since I've only seen it pop up here and there, but if you're engaging in this, you need to stop right now. Women talk about not wanting to be treated like objects all the time, and then they come up with shit like this.
Duke said she's sent around 6 Venmo requests ranging from $1,500 to $3,000.
Okay, then just agree that's your merchandise.
Which is exactly what a car company does for its cars. Not to mention that plenty of women will flake on guys as well, so then what? Are we both going to pay a deposit on the other person?
I don't know what he's describing here. This just sounds quite like an outlier relationship dynamic. I don't know what this is.
Because this completely cancels out the deposit. Unless you want to uphold some sort of sexist double standard where only the man has to pay the deposit and women are free to not show. Just like pay for the date, plan the date, ask her out, text her first.
But look, what's wrong with men paying? I mean, it's a first date, they've asked you on the date, they should be honoured to have you there.
Men always pay on my first date. So.
I would not go on a date with a guy and split.
All right, maybe this sounds a little ridiculous, but like, if I'm giving you my time, I mean, maybe you should pay for my dinner.
So I guess women have no...
Guys, this isn't true. Here's the thing. People hear these women talk and they actually believe them. They make these types of rules for the guys they're really not that interested in. Trust that if these women, or women in general, are with a man that they're really attracted to, and he says, you know what, I forgot my wallet, or he says, you know what, why don't you get this one, I'll get the next one, or if he just says, can you get this one, if they're really into these men, they will do it. This whole thing, this is bullshit. Oh, if a guy doesn't pay for it, blah, 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 I'm not going to see him again. A man should do this and that. The saying is true, and they make rules for betas, break rules for alphas. Absolutely. And these are placeholder terms. But they make rules for men they're really not that into, and they break rules for men who they are absolutely interested and curious and infatuated with. You can do whatever you want. You can get away with whatever you want when you have a woman that is actually into you. All this nonsense, men should pay on the first date, goes out the window when they're with a guy who they're actually into.
problem at all upholding a double standard just as long as it benefits them.
Okay, and what about a second date? Does it change then? Second date is still the man. He should pay. Again, I'd offer, but I'd still want the guy to pay.
You gotta love hypocrisy and inconsistency, man. It's fucking everywhere. By the way, if you agree that women want to have their cake and eat it too when it comes to modern dating, then please drop a like on the video and comment down below what you think. Because instead of just slightly tweaking the old system of courting and waiting till marriage, society said fuck it and burned the whole damn thing to the ground, giving birth to hookup culture under the banner of empowering and freeing women.
A man has been able to go out and have a one-night stand, and obviously he's having a one-night stand with someone.
I do have a high sex drive, definitely. I just have like friends who we just basically have sex.
Don't care, and you're going out to have your needs met.
So, do men lose respect for women who have sex on the first date? In my opinion, they do, because it's a stigma. Whether or not it's true that it makes her a promiscuous woman, or it's a woman you shouldn't commit to, whether or not that is true, and I don't actually, I don't know. It might be, because the stigma is so strong that women who sleep on the first date fit this stereotype of a promiscuous woman, that the women who do it, knowing that it's a stigma, I don't know, might be true. But like I was saying earlier, the stigma alone is enough for women who, and they should avoid it. It's that stigma alone, which is why women shouldn't do it. But then also, again, just because they hold out, for 3 dates and the guy sticks around doesn't mean he's going to stick around after he gets that access. People underestimate what men are willing to do to sleep with a woman.
There should be no shaming, and there's nothing wrong with having sex on the first date.
So I would always want to sleep with someone first before I committed to a relationship.
However, now that they are free to be just like the guys, many women want to go back to getting commitment up front and having guys spend time and money on elaborate dates.
I don't even condone drink dates. As a man, societally, he gets paid more. And his time that he has more of because he's not doing hair, makeup, and shaving his legs.
We are doing dinner. You're gonna pick me up. We're gonna come to the restaurant. We're gonna see your table manners. We're gonna see what you order. We're gonna see you hold your chopsticks correctly.
For a woman, it's really important that he is investing from the get-go. Stop saying yes to these low value, low investment dates, okay?
So why exactly would guys...
Yeah, and I mean, the women who don't want to do those, they themselves are weeding themselves out of the bunch. Again, if a woman denies that type of shit. I remember there was this chick I was talking to on a dating app, and I had suggested, or I said that I wanted to take her out and get some drinks, and she was like, oh, well, to me, drinks it kind of just feels like a friendship, and typically I like to go out on dinner dates. And I unmatched immediately. No, thank you. You just weeded yourself out. Absolutely not going to take you seriously. If you're more interested in an experience on a first date when I don't know who the fuck you are, and I'm looking to get to know you, why would I continue to speak with you? Absolutely not.
Guys want to do this because everywhere you look nowadays, you keep hearing how independent women are and that they definitely do not need a man.
I would love to know, what do we need y'all for?
I think women
to pay on the first date, apparently,
are better than men.
At what?
Everything.
So name 2 things.
I don't know, I just think we're better.
Women don't need men in order to make money to provide for themselves or take care of themselves.
Well, that's fine and all, but you do realize that shit actually works both ways, right? Since men also don't need a woman to provide for them or cook for them, since there are hundreds of apps that do exactly that. Which means that technically both men and women don't need each other in a civilized modern world with modern comforts. However, the difference is that men don't constantly scream this from the top of their lungs, and men also don't go home and then make TikTok videos about how lonely they are after just saying that they don't need men.
Gorgeous, gorgeous girls don't cry over a boy in a car. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls don't need a boy.
I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of not feeling like a priority to you.
I need somebody to have my back. I do. I'm admitting it. I could say I'm a strong, independent woman that doesn't need no man, but I am saying I want a man and I need a man.
Now that is what you call some mixed fucking messaging. So currently, you have modern women wanting courtship and chivalry, but they seem to forget that those two come at a price. Courtship and chivalry existed for a very specific reason, which allowed both parties to benefit from it. Women were getting safety and security of income and access to wealth, while men were able to build a legacy and show their level of success through marriage and children. So clearly, both men and women had a vested interest in finding a long-term partner, and this created a very strict code of conduct for both men and women. That is no longer the case, because even though both men and women have lost some benefits from long-term relationships, it is men who have seen the cost of engaging in long-term relationships rise while losing benefits.
53% of marriages end in divorce in New York State. So if I said to you there's a 53% chance that when you walk out the front door today, you're gonna get hit in the head with a bowling ball, you would either stay inside or at a minimum you would wear a helmet.
Which is exactly why some men are simply playing the field but not committing, while others have completely checked out. And this brings us to the original question, why are men not committing to women, or why are men not even showing up to date these women? Well, there are two main reasons for this. The first is simply women selecting men that clearly do not want commitment. Take this girl for instance.
But every single time this happens, I always tell myself like, oh, you'll get over it, or like, you're over him, it'll be fine, right?
She's a very attractive woman, and she seems to be very nice, a bit crazy perhaps, but still very nice.
Well, she on the surface seems to be attractive, but again, she has a lot of makeup on, so we don't know. We really don't know. To me, I'm not really into women who wear all this makeup. It's because just about every time I have dated one of these women, when they take that shit off, it is a completely different person. And I don't want to be with a woman, or I don't even want to be around a woman. Well, I won't commit to these types of women who plaster on all this makeup, and the only way they look good is by coloring all over their face.
So I'm sure plenty of guys would love to take her on a date or be in a relationship with her, but somehow she's getting ghosted non-stop.
I haven't blocked his number, and he hasn't texted me since he ghosted me. He hasn't, not once. He ghosted me once, and then he ghosted me twice. The second time before he ghosted me, he's like, I want to make it up to you. I want to take you out on a date. I can't stop thinking about you. You did nothing wrong.
Now, if we translate this disaster into male speech, then
look, man, getting ghosted sucks for anybody, but you got to adjust your strategy. Something is off. You got to learn from it. You can maybe become more pleasant. Maybe you said something that turned them off. Maybe you're going for men who are just not going to commit. Maybe you're shooting out of your league. I don't know, but you need to adjust something. But if you continue to make the mistake and you don't learn from it, what are you doing? Come on. Adjust, adapt, improvise, overcome. You need to figure it out.
It's very clear she's a dude who has multiple options, all of which are better than her, and he's clearly not done playing with those options. This girl literally has the power to get married tomorrow if she truly wanted, but she chooses that one guy out of many who are willing, who is completely discarding her and treating her like trash. So yeah, you're never gonna find love or commitment if you keep operating this way. It's basically the same situation as George and Anfisa, when he was hoping that Anfisa would one day truly love him for who he is and not see him as just a green card and a bag of money.
So basically you're saying if I can't provide, I'm worthless to you.
I don't understand what's wrong about it.
She doesn't like the guy. See, it's what I was saying earlier. They make rules for guys they're really not that into. She's making this guy jump through all these hoops. She doesn't really like the guy. And I mean, the dude is overweight. He looks like the typical pushover type of guy she's going to be able to walk all over. Just looks too clean cut. I mean, he's got a nice haircut, styled, but he needs to lose some weight. He needs to, you can just tell he's probably a pushover. He's probably a little bit insecure because of his overweight issue. He hasn't been to the gym. He doesn't know how to fight. He's never been punched in his face, probably. He's not a hard motherfucker. And women can smell this on you. And the thing is, man, she is going to make rules for this guy. And it is what it is.
I'm worthless to you.
I don't understand what's wrong about it.
You're simply setting yourself up for failure since the other person has zero interest in who you are as a person. So the question shouldn't be why are men not committing, the question should really be why are women choosing guys that don't want to? Well, that actually comes down to simple economics. If you want $1 million house or $1 million car, you actually have to show up with $1 million. But when it comes to dating and wanting $1 million man, most women only show up with a cute smile and empty pockets.
What do you bring to the table when you're in a relationship?
Everything.
Why would I qualify myself to you?
What do you bring to the table?
Everything. I bring the whole table.
I see so many TikTok clapbacks from both men and women answering this dumb question.
I adore this question because it always comes from men that I have absolutely zero intention of ever even looking at.
Notice how offended they get over this question. It's like they think the audacity you must have to ask me what value I bring other than my coochie. And then they're confused why you just get smashed and passed and they don't commit to you. What is wrong with these women? It's quite the logic, if you ask me. But I do find it funny how offended they get over this question. This question alone might be the most offensive question to them. It might be more offensive than how much do you weigh and what's your body count. What do you bring to the table? This is enough to get a woman in her rees. Just to piss, she'll piss her off, drive her crazy. What do you mean? I am the table. I bring everything.
Why are you worried about what I bring to the table?
Can you imagine? What do you bring to the table? And the guy's like, this. Women would be like, so who pays the bills? And what does your car look like? And what kind of job do you have? And
whatever happened to this woman, Jedediah Bila? Where did she go? Did she fall off the face of the earth? What happened?
Are you going to take care of the family? And do you know how to like fight? Like if I was in trouble, like you're going to protect me? And they'd have a whole list that you'd be checking off. He'd be like, well, you can barely keep up. And they're just like this.
It's pretty funny how all of these so-called boss bitches are ready to rule the world, but they can never answer a basic question like, what do you bring to the table?
I guess this question attempts to investigate someone's value.
Yeah.
But the question itself has no value because there is no table.
Anyways, my point is that if you're looking for that specialty guy that meets all of the criteria on your massive fucking list,
Heather bought me her list of requirements, so let's check them out. He must be between 30 and 45, financially stable, no kids, 5'10" or taller, honest, reliable, sweet and kind, quick-witted, romantic, and must never wear sweatpants. What? Okay, well, we got some more requirements. Must be adventurous, must be humble, must be spontaneous,
My God.
Must be a planner.
you better bring something special to the table to make sure that that guy sees value in being with you, investing time in you, and giving up all other options that are just a swipe away. Because if you don't, you're going to get played very hard and it's going to hurt. So like I mentioned in the previous video, why men age like fine wine, men actually have to spend years developing themselves, making themselves much more attractive to women, but at the same time, women are being told to never ever change themselves for a guy and that they are perfectly fine just the way they are.
You, yes you, you're an angel. You're a goddess. Your body is beautiful.
I want you to have a beautiful, soft, amazing life where you're valued and upheld and worshipped and all the things you want. You just feel like a goddess life.
Goddess, goddess, goddess.
Oh my God.
You are beautiful. You are gorgeous.
Well, that's fine and all if you still believe in fairy tales, but in the real world, those women are going to face a harsh reality check.
Do you think that someone referring to themselves as goddess, check this out, imagine if we as men were running around referring to ourselves as God. Are you ever thought about that? These women refer to themselves as goddesses, princesses. And think about it. You know how mad women would get if they came across like a culture of men on social media hyping each other up, referring to each other as gods? You know what, actually? I think that content would probably get taken down. I don't think they would allow it to be on social media. I know TikTok probably would take it down. You are a god. Can you imagine how triggered that would get women? It's hilarious, the fact. So hold on, we're supposed to want to wife up women who refer to themselves as goddesses? Oh, you think that type of carrying that type of mindset into an LTR, a long-term relationship, is going to produce good results? Absolutely not.
And as he comes back into the car,
goddess,
he tells me,
wow.
I don't think we're gonna have a good time. And I thought he was kidding, and I'm like, huh? He's like, I'm taking you back home, you're not my type. Oh my God. I'm sure it's because I'm overweight that he didn't want to go, like, continue the date or whatever. And I'm just like, wow, like, it was so fucking awkward.
But people don't just want to date me in my day-to-day life. Like, if he was actually interested, then the date probably would have gone better, you know? Like, this is our second date, and he's not once told me that I was pretty or that I looked nice, and he doesn't, like, ask me questions about myself, and I know that the answer is he's just not interested. Like, I'm aware of that, but, like, neither is anybody else, and at some point, I don't want to be single forever.
You see, women are constantly being lied to by other women, and they forget that if you are dating men, then maybe you should actually try to appeal to men instead of other women. Otherwise, why the hell would a guy want to commit to you? It is truly baffling that many women keep engaging in activities that men clearly do not find attractive in a long-term partner, and then complain when they get rejected. This was why men aren't committing to women. Please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos.
Yep, they are devolving into creatures who are incapable of long-term commitment. They are not good candidates. This generation, these generations of females, they've been brainwashed and programmed into creatures you just can't spend decades with and it work out. They don't know how to do it, and they refuse to learn. And maybe they'll be willing to learn, but by that time comes, it'll be too late, and they'll have aged out, and nobody really wants to deal with that. And who knows, maybe women will come across this type of content and they'll snap out of it, but I really am not sure. Anyways, if you enjoyed that, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and then also check out FBE Capital.